Thank you all for coming to the opening of the Highway 281 bridge. My name is Mark Kovar. I'm the District 8 engineer for the Nebraska Department of Transportation. And as engineers, we're always taught to first identify a problem before you start implementing solutions. And I thought back to about March 16th of 2019 when John Prouty and I were sitting out here not far from this very spot looking at the river and what used to be Highway 281 surrounded by big chunks of ice on the road. And John got a phone call and the guy asked what he was doing, and John said, well, I'm here with the engineer from the Department of Transportation and we have identified the problem. The solution, on the other hand, was not so easy to come by. So I'd like to thank Hawkins Construction and their team, John Prouty and his team, as well as Olson's and Kirkham Michael, as well as our own Department of Transportation staff locally here in the O'Neill and Spencer area, as well as our Department of Transportation office folks in Lincoln for their help and getting a solution here that we could implement and get this first temporary road open in about 5 months from when the flooding occurred. And now about a year, just over a year later, we have the permanent bridge open to two-way traffic, which has restored mobility to this area, which was hampered for quite a while. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the governor for his support and not only this project, but all the projects that we had to do in order to get traffic going again after the flooding. So with that, join me in welcoming Governor Ricketts to make a few comments.
Thank you very much, Mark, and great job on keeping those brief. That was awesome. Thank you for all your work on the project. We really appreciate it. So Jenny, when she called me up here, said, okay, we're going to keep this short and sweet. And I said, hey, I just drove 4 hours to get here. I'm talking for 40 minutes. But then I sat down in that chair and got that north wind hitting the back of my bald head. And I'm thinking, okay, we can make this short and sweet. It's a little bit different day than when we were here on September 1st, or when we were at the Mormon Canal Bridge talking about it, or when we were here last year in July getting the temporary bridge open. But this is a day that does feel like what happened on March 13th. It's not quite as bad as that day, but that was a day that storm blew through, and we had 3,300 miles of our highways closed. That was the largest the most widespread natural disaster we've ever had in our state's history. And as you know, we had about 200 miles of our state highways that were damaged and needed to be repaired, and 27 bridges. In total, $200 million worth of damage was done to our state and federal highways, and about $156 million was done to our local roads. And that's when we came together as Nebraskans to start working on solutions that Mark was talking about. Recovery was not easy. Solutions were not always obvious. But because Nebraskans come together in times of need, we were able to solve problems. It took a lot of hard work. People at the Department of Transportation were working around the clock. People at Olson were working around the clock. All of our contractors, like Chris Hawkins, were working around the clock to be able to come up with these solutions. And just a little over 4 months after this bridge was knocked out, we were able to get a temporary bridge up in place. And that prevented folks in the area from driving 127 miles round trip or around this to make do. That was key. And then they started working on the permanent solution. And here we are, about 19 months later. This is the last bridge that we have to get open from that terrible flooding that happened a year and a half ago. 27 bridges were knocked out. This is the last one to go back up. And we're very pleased to be able to let folks in this area have this permanent solution. And you want to think about that, folks. That's a pretty amazing accomplishment. Then a little after 4 months, we got the temporary bridge up. About 19 months later, we got all these bridges up. 200 miles replaced, 27 bridges back up and running. That shows an amazing amount of work by everybody involved. I want to thank Jesse Ritter, who is the project manager for Hawkins, and the great work that he's done there. And I want to thank Chris Hawkins, because Hawkins Construction has been a fantastic partner. I mentioned how they were working around the clock. We asked them to solve problems. We said we got short time frames that needs to be done. And while they were a little worried about some of the time frames at first, they pulled together and said, we can make this happen. It was an incredible feat of engineering, of construction, that everybody came together to make this happen. I also want to thank Gene Kolfak, who for the Nebraska Department of Transportation was the project manager around here that worked so hard with everybody here and all the partners coming together to make this happen. It really has been a testament to the partnership that we have at the state with all the folks who are involved, this great big team to make this happen. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been involved, because this is incredibly important that we restore this bridge, that we allow the folks in this area to be able to have the opportunity to be able to have that mobility that Mark was talking about. It really is fantastic. And then finally, I'd like to thank Kyle Schneeweiss. Earlier this week, Kyle announced that he is going to be leaving the Department of Transportation after 5.5 years. Kyle came on board very quickly after I was elected governor. And he has done a fantastic job as our director, actually the first director of the Department of Transportation, to be able to work together to establish the partnerships that we have that made this possible, and to be innovative and creative with how we were going to come up with transportation solutions for the state. Kyle was one of the folks that worked on our Transportation Innovation Act, our county bridge program, increasing the federal match for counties and cities with regard to their federal dollars so that they would get more bang for the buck, working on the economic development programs, and then working to find innovative solutions like the one we just accomplished here. Kyle, you've done a fantastic job for the state of Nebraska. I really appreciate your service. And contrary to what the Omaha World Herald says, we know we're not losing you out of the state of Nebraska. Kyle is staying in the state of Nebraska. And so we'll have the opportunity to continue to
say thanks to everybody here for showing up and braving the weather as well. And with that, I'll go ahead and introduce Chris Hawkins, COO of Hawkins Construction.
It does seem appropriate that we're here with weather like today. It might not be pleasant, but this is how we started, so we might as well end this way. And we've restored mobility, and it's almost the way it was before, but not quite. We've changed, and we have a bridge here that is new, it's bigger, it's stronger. And I like to think, as a team, we've gone through a similar transformation. You learn a lot about yourself, about your team, when you have an emergency situation like this. And what we learned, we should be extraordinarily proud of. As a team, and this has been the theme for each one of these ribbon cuttings, what it takes, the number of people and the teamwork to be successful. But as a team, we've done something here that I think is unique. We read enough and know enough about the country as a whole and major projects, how DOTs, how contractors and engineers work together, and usually there's problems. I really honestly think what we have here in Nebraska is as good, if not better, than anywhere else in the country. And to that end, I think we have to start with our leadership with Governor Ricketts. Our state should be extremely grateful for how well this administration handled this emergency. There was clarity of thought, decisiveness, support and resources immediately. And then to our DOT, to Kyle, to his team, Mo and Khalil, who are here, Mark Trainowitz, who I don't know is here or not, Mark Kovar and the district, worked amazingly well with focus, never let off the gas. Yes, we did have some concerns about whether or not we could do it on time, but that's because we like to very carefully analyze things. And then once this project got going, Olson had designed what we thought made sense, and it did, but it took a lot of effort and a lot of coordination, collaboration to actually make it a reality. And Kirkham Michael, as well, throughout the process, worked for us in an incredible team. I want to talk about the Hawkins team very briefly, but just quickly by the numbers, what this involved. So 41,000 man hours, and that's just Hawkins Construction. That doesn't include the 26 contractors, subcontractors we had here. John Prouty in particular, thank you. There were 300 truckloads, that's tractor trailer truckloads, just for our bridge parts here. We installed and removed nearly 4 miles of pile for the 2 temporary bridges and installed another 14,000 feet of permanent pile. We have nearly 50,000 square feet of bridge deck, 2,355 tons of precast girder material for our precast concrete for our girders here, and then probably somewhere in the millions the number of nails and any other interesting items that we could have. But the numbers are staggering in an extraordinarily short period of time. To our team, I'd like to be able to name everybody individually. It's cold, I won't, but please take a moment and look at our team here. Jesse Ritter on the end, as noted, was our project manager. He was the one who had most concern about the schedule. I said, yeah, no problem. These guys will take care of it. But he worked all night to get this done and to get an answer to NDOT to be able to move forward. Matt Story, who's not here but was for the duration, living 4 hours from home for the better part of a year and a half, along with Jason Fisher, our other superintendent. Jason, if you'll raise your hand. Jason grew a lot as a superintendent on this one. And the rest of our team, it might be uncomfortable for us right now. These guys did this in 100-degree weather. They did it in 5-degree weather and 0-degree weather all the way through. This is tough work. I'm extremely proud of these guys. This is man's work, but they do it with skill, with pride, and of all things, these are the people I'm most proud of. Thanks, guys. It's my name on your hard hat, but you're the ones who make it happen, and I'm thankful for you more than I can express. I'm thankful for our whole team, to the community for supporting us. This is worthy of celebration today. With that, Kyle Schneeweiss, I'm gonna miss working with you, my friend.
I know, buddy. Well, there's lots of people to thank, and many of the names have been said. I would like, and what an accomplishment. It's an amazing bridge. It's an amazing feat of engineering. Congratulations to everybody that was involved. I want to take a second and think back to what it was like at the DOT that first day when we realized we got a third of our highways closed. That is a tough day at the DOT. When you look at that map and you see it's lit up like a Christmas tree, everything is closed. And then as the water recedes and we learn we got 200 miles of pavement to fix and 27 bridges. Now at DOT, we're pretty used to fixing bridges. A bridge goes out, it happens, and we're good at that. We fix it. When you got 27 of them all at one time, that is a tough day. And trying to figure out how to get the right solution in the right place 27 different times is when everybody is eager to get it open now. That is a tough day. And so you need a lot of partners, and I appreciate our consultant friends over at Olson and all the consultants across our industry, our contractor friends who delivered these projects, and all the folks at DOT who worked through to find those strategies. I also want to thank you in the community, the people of Nebraska. We held several town halls those first few days, a lot of tears, a lot of hugs. You're learning about 127-mile detours, the need to get across these bridges today. It is when these kinds of challenges we face. And so to come up with those strategies each time, to be smart and strategic and find the right one, it really was the people of Nebraska, those communities, in our hearts and in our minds. So when the going gets tough, and I know these guys over here know it too, you're working for the people of Nebraska, and that we do that every day at DOT. But man, it was apparent here, and the amount of support we had in the communities across the state, it really meant a lot to us at DOT. We can't thank you all enough across the state. And it was a historic flood, but we are here today to celebrate a historic accomplishment by the people of DOT and all of our partners across the way. So congratulations, everybody. It's been a great to be a part of. The governor mentioned I am on to the next thing, and I want to just pause. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance, Governor, in another public forum. So I'm going to do it now. 5.5 years ago, I got a call, asked to move to Nebraska. I was eager to do it, but I'll tell you, it's a little bit of a leap of faith to pick up your family and move to a place you don't know, to work for a governor you don't know, and you're just hoping this is the right decision. It was the best decision I ever made. It has been such an honor to work alongside you, Governor, for you, your leadership, your values, your vision. It is so amazing to have a great governor like Governor Ricketts and to have a chance to work for you and alongside the people at DOT. Mo and Khalil are here. We worked together long and hard, guys, the last 5.5 years, but it's just been the joy of my professional career and an honor, and I can't thank you guys enough for the opportunity. And as Governor said, I'm Omaha World Herald's wrong. I'm not moving to Maryland. I'm staying right here in Nebraska, and I wouldn't rather be any other place. So congratulations, everybody. Thanks.